Welcome to the PLP training module that shows you how to make a pivot table out of your classroom PLP data. Now, if you've never made a pivot table before, it's not hard to do. It's a little time consuming, and there's a couple of steps in the process. But the purpose of this training module is to show you step by step how you can make a pivot table for yourself without relying on Heather Mack to do it or a building coach or someone else to help you. So this is a training module for you to teach yourself how to make a pivot table out of your data. The way I'm going to set this training module up is lots of little mini video segments. I'm going to make a mini video segment to show you step 1 and then give you a chance to do it. And a video segment for step 2, then give you a chance to do it. And a video segment for step 3 and give you a chance to do it. So it's kind of a guided, scaffolded training module so that you can go through each step of the process on your own. If you need support at the end of this training module and there's still something that's unclear or doesn't make sense to you, certainly feel free to ask. But hopefully by the end of this module, you'll be able to make a pivot table out of your own classroom data. So let's get started. I have Mrs. Watts, a high school teacher. I have her PLP data up on my screen. Now, if you look down below, this first tab has all of her students from all of her periods, and you can tell that it's rows and rows of data. It's not usable in this format. So we've gone through and we've made a period 1, a period 2, period 3, 4, 5, 6, you get the idea. Now, having all those tabs open at the bottom for me feels a little overwhelming. It's just too much on my screen at one time. So what I like to do is I like to go through and hide the tabs that I'm not using. Let me show you how to do that. If you right click on the tab down below, it says period 2, and you can hide sheet. Period 3, hide sheet. Period 4, hide. Period 6, hide. Period 7, hide. Now, they're not deleted, they're not gone, they're just hidden so you can't see them. When you want to bring those tabs back, go down here to these little stackable, bars down at the bottom. You can see all of the sheets that I have hidden. So they're there, you just can't see them. All right, period 1. Let's make a pivot table out of Mrs. Watts' period 1 data. Now, I don't want to start messing with this spreadsheet because as soon as I start deleting things, I've messed with the original. So first things first, I want to make a duplicate and work off of this copy. See how it says period 1 and then it says copy of period 1. Make sure you're working off the spreadsheet that says copy of period 1. Now, I've got lots of columns on here that I don't need. So I'm going to start deleting the columns I don't need. Okay? I don't need Watts and I don't need her period. I already know that. So I'm going to delete those. I do want the student's first name and last name, but I don't need their student ID. So I'm going to delete that. Now I've got all these other columns of data. Not every single one of these columns can be made into a pivot table. On the PLP form, only questions that have checkboxes or drop downs can be made into a pivot table because the field is universally the same for all students. So this column, 1.1 and 1.2, every student had the same drop down choices. So I can make these two columns of data a pivot table. I cannot make a pivot table out of 1.5, so I'm going to delete that. 1.3 and 1.4, I cannot make a pivot table out of those, so I'm going to delete that. Now, learner inventory, that was a checkbox drop-down menu for students, so I can make a pivot table out of that, but I cannot make a pivot table for section 2.4, 2.3, 2.2. So I'm going to delete all of those. Okay. So first step in the process, hide all of your periods along the bottom, get them out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. Make a copy of your period 1, and then start to delete the tabs that you do not need. Okay, that's step 1.